Let's have a conversation.
Thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I'm sure I'll see you at one of these events again
all
soon.
time, we got Mark with Mindful Reality Podcast, who I've been a guest on, and it was a blast.
Thank you for having me, honestly, and I cannot wait to do it again. We're going to do this again in the future. I just know it.
What's going on, everybody? I am here. Why is there only one person in the chat? That was smart, Ma, because you know by now that if you say, why is there only one person on the live, there will already be more than one by the time you finish typing. So that was smart because you saw no comments in there. So you're like, let me throw that comment in there because as of the time it shows, I'll show as the only comment. Slick. That was slick. 2 people. And now there is 1, 2, 3 people. And I could type in there and make it 4. Hi, Tasha. Mark with the C. And hi, Betty. Betty and I forever. Yeah, so I just hopped on because I was like, dang, I just clocked out of work. I feel good. It's Friday. Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern time is the longest period of time between the last time I have to work and the next time I have to work. So this is the exact best time. And this is a way to decompress for me. So the topic that I kind of had in mind, it is related to reality TV. And it's related to Big Brother. And my viewers can probably help me with this one. The Big Brother game has obviously changed from the beginning when the show first started until now. Some of those changes, I mean, a game is not going to stay the same for 25 seasons. But I started to think to myself, I'm looking at the current standings in the game. And the mamas are on the bottom. Bowie is kind of there, even though she's pretending to be 11 years younger than she is. She's kind of there by virtue of being the ultimate floater. But if you think of the majority of who has been running the game, it has all been a group of Gen Z. So, I mean, I know that we have people that are not Gen Z that actually made it to this point of the game, but the game has basically been run and dominated by a group of Gen Z players in the game. And I think that makes a difference in terms of how the game is played. Even if you get people who are fans of the show, I think the age of the people participating in the show is a factor. And I'm going to give you some of my thoughts as to how it can be a factor. I think that generationally, some of the players that we saw, they were, you know, the younger generation when they were on the show. So it's not even necessarily an age thing. It's just the way that things shift from generation to generation. So I'll give you an example. This group here, something that they have done is they do not play the game like individuals. They play the game in a sense of following the trends. And if you look at what it takes to be popular outside of the game right now, that's what popularity takes. You go on TikTok, you go on Instagram, Snapchat, whatever it is that people use, and you see what everybody else is doing, and you do the same thing. And watching these players has made me realize that I'm not part of a lot of their generation. I mean, I am one generation removed as a millennial, but my generation was different to me. So these people are not really as concerned about let's make deals, let me build up relationships. It's mainly let me stay with the popular clique. As long as I'm in with the popular clique, it doesn't matter how I play the game. It doesn't matter what deals that I make in the game. The deals, as we have seen, are completely irrelevant. Everybody knows that Corey was in 1,000,001 alliances, and nobody's concerned about that because he has made sure to maneuver himself amongst the popular clique. They have pushed the mamas onto the outside of that popular clique. They've given whatever reason, Cerie's dangerous, Felicia is aggressive. Those kind of things don't matter. They are not in the popular clique, and they're not doing what the group is doing. Anyone who's not conforming to the group is on the outside. And when you have a lot of people that are doing the same thing, the couple of people that aren't doing the same thing as everybody else is going to be a standout. And so it's hard to win the modern day version of Big Brother. Now, if you think back to last season, Taylor won playing a predominantly social game. And I think that something like that, just like how the cookout shifted the game in a way, I think that Taylor's game last year also shifted the game, how the game is played and how the game is won. Because now you have a bunch of people in the game that are literally like, I don't care about winning. I don't care about winning comps is what I'm saying. They're like, I am just going to make sure that I'm good with everybody. I'm going to make sure to have conversations with everyone. I'm going to make sure to go with what the majority is doing. Maybe I can throw in 1 or 2 comp wins for my resume, and then I'm going to win the game. So here we have it. This annoying game that frustrates us all. Because the thing about a social experiment like this, it depends on who you get and what they decide to do. And I think for the majority for this season, they decided to do what was the popular thing to do instead of thinking for themselves, making moves for themselves, etc. And anybody who they were like, oh, this person is not doing what the whole group is doing. This person wants to win comps and make decisions in the game. This person has a plan for how they're trying to win the game. They just get that person out. Kirsten is doing too much. Let's get out Kirsten. Now Riley's doing too much. Let's get out Riley. Heisem is doing too much. Let's get out Heisem. They got out Cam. The only person who I can think of that they didn't get out for a reason of doing too much was probably Jag. But I think almost every other person that they eliminated was pretty much because they were like, this person wants to win comps. Have they held the nominations yet? No, I think they're holding the nominations. Oh, I'm seeing Corey. I am not sure if they have held the nominations yet. I'm updating my answer. But we know what the nominations are going to be, so it's not really exciting to me. I've been busy all day since I woke up at 1:45 p.m., so I wouldn't know. I almost missed my 2 o'clock class. What's up, Van Hoot? Glad Bowie won. Hey, everyone. Hey, Sapphire. Yeah, so it was going to be really hard for somebody like Sari or somebody like Felicia to win the game with this group that we have in there. It would be hard for somebody like me to win the game because I don't do groupthink. There's not usually a large group of people that are doing anything that I would think is worthwhile for me to be doing. Do you think Jag and Matt will be able to convince Bowie Jane to backdoor Cam? They would be able to convince her to backdoor Cam, but they don't want her to backdoor Cam. I really don't think that they want her to backdoor Cam. I think they want, well, in Matt's case, I think Matt just wants Felicia to go. I think in Jag's case, he doesn't care if it's Felicia or what's it called? Sari. Who is she nominating? She seems to be nominating Sari and Felicia from what we last heard. They don't really have alliances this year. I mean, they had a whole bunch of alliances, but now when you look at everybody who's left, this is the way everything stacks up. America and Blue working together. Matt and Jag working together. Cam and Bowie working together. Blue is kind of working with both Cameron and Sari. Who else is there? Felicia is not really working with anyone. She's kind of, I guess she was kind of working with Sari by default, but she's kind of on an island. Who's on the block? I have Mark muted right now since I am in a music production club and we are recording. I saw our Matt trying to convince Bowie to take Cam out because he thinks he's targeting him next week or the week after because she's never going to do that though. Actually, she's not going to target Cam. I remember that conversation and she was like, no, I don't want to do that. And I don't think they would be able to convince her otherwise. Because she just started kind of working with Matt and Jag, but she's been talking to Cameron for a long time. Did anyone see season 2? They refused to vote for each other. Wow. Noms have not happened yet. I don't think so. Well, I don't know. Let me see if I can find out. Let me check my sources and see if I can find out. But I think the nom ceremony was happening. Oh, noms haven't commenced yet. Interesting. Are Cam and Bowie in a final 2? Not a officially, but kind of. Seriously, wow. Noms haven't started yet. No, please put Cameron on the block. Don't let Cam scathe by. If they can't convince her to backdoor Cam, they will backdoor Blue. Matt and Jag prefers a Cam backdoor though, based on, but she's not going to do that. I don't think there's anything that they could say to make her put up Cameron as a replacement nom. Cameron is pretty much her number one in the house. So I don't think that she can be convinced for that particular thing. I can live with Blue leaving, but I would 1000% prefer Cam. Yeah, it's not going to be on Bowie's HOH. Cameron was making another one of his strong pitches for Corey and America to go up. But I was really, really annoyed by that pitch because I'm like, you were HOH and power veto holder. So you chose not to put them up in the first place. And then you chose not to pick a replacement nom. So why are you going to try to press Bowie about putting them up when you had the power last week and you chose not to? This whole thing about Cameron trying to appease Jag just does not make sense to me. Because you can't have that many conversations with somebody and not realize that they are more loyal to the other person than they are to you. Jag is clearly more loyal to Corey than he is to Cam. Clearly. It doesn't take you talking to him 15 different times about the same thing for you to know that. So at this point, I'm upset he even let Jag talk him out of putting up Corey this past HOH and veto. You won the stuff. I was actually just looking at the winner circle earlier today, and Derek and Cody thought the same thing. They were like, I know why Corey being in there benefits Jag's game, but it did not benefit Cam's game. Bowie has so many options this week now, thinking about it. Bowie has all the options. Jag is being very careful with how he handles Bowie Jane. He's slowly trying to tell her Cam is playing with Blue final two and he's using Bowie Jane. I don't think she's going to believe that, though. That's not even really too believable. America is also trying to paint that narrative as well, but it's so funny to me to see that America is trying to paint this narrative of, oh, you got to be worried about Blue and Cam's final two. Why aren't we worrying about you and Corey? The ultimate deflection. For them to try to make people scared of this newly formed semi kind of team that they're doing versus a pair that's been in the house together since day one and are in a showmance together, that share every piece of information, vote together, campaign together. Why are we worried more about Cam and Blue? Now, if it was just a case of worrying about Cam, I understand that, because Cam is just dominating all the competitions. So that, from that sense, yeah. But the Cam and Blue partnership, I would be more worried about Corey and America being in there together. Bowie Jane is closer to Matt than Jag and Cam. Yes, she is. I've noticed that. This week might be interesting having a wild card HOH. I thought it would be, but it's not looking that way. They're gonna have to put Cerie's name in the veto box. When the thing says red face red heart shape, I had to ask, is this an iPhone thing? It must be. Like body blue raised arms. Is this an iPhone thing that would show up as an emoji? What was the tiebreaker question in the last episode? The tiebreaker question was, how many minutes was it from the time that Jared and Cam re-entered the house as zombies? Or maybe it just said Jared re-entered the house as a zombie till when Jared got evicted. Jag's angle is that a Cam duo is going to be harder to break up than a Comerica duo. They suck at challenges. And everybody is so worried about Blue in challenges, and Blue hasn't won a challenge yet. Just like they were like, oh, we're so worried about Mimi because she finished second and third. Basically, if you compete, you're a massive threat in this season. If you even try to win, you are a massive threat. It's an emoji code. It was something about how many seconds. Like as a zombie. What is Blue's downfall to her game? Her downfall? I don't know. I mean, I don't really know. It's hard for me to even say what kind of spot Blue is in the game. But I would say that her blind spot right now is trusting Jag. Because Jag considers her expendable and now has closer relationships with Matt, with Corey, with America. He arguably has lesser of a game relationship with her right now than he has with Cam. She's towards the bottom of his pecking order. Her own mouth. His number of minutes, not seconds. That's why I feel lost. You confuse the question to be seconds and she overestimated. Maybe Cameron feels a connection with Jag because they were both voted out, even though it is not reciprocal. Blue talks way too much. I mean, they all do that. And the person who didn't talk too much is home now. Because they said she didn't talk enough.
That's like, this is all way too much. It's so stupid.
So yeah, this is just a quick one. And I'm going to go. But I will be back at some point after they make the nominations. And we're going to have a chat later in the evening. Thanks, y'all, for jumping on. Please make sure, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content.
So you literally were one of my very first followers. And then when you followed me and I, followed back, I was like, this dude is cool. Like,
if they say talk to your manager, you just say, you know what, talk to the hand. You don't need to be on my podcast. But yeah, dude. Yeah, you do a great job.
Thank you. I always get a kick out of talking with you on Patreon. You have a really good, view on everything.
That wasn't planned.
You know what?
Thank
but
you.
I like this Canadian.
Well,
I like this one.
well,